She is a third grade student from my lovely home state of Kentucky, and her name is Gracie, and she is going to share with you why it's important for us to make this shift. Gracie, can you come up?
It's fine.
Are you ready? Do you need anything? Okay, good.
Well, I thought I'd start my presentation off by showing you where I'm from. This is my home at Nolan Lake, Community, Kentucky, and this is literally my backyard. My back channel, to get there you have to go to www.todaysmeet.com/GracieB in Chicago. So here you just have to type in your name, write comment or feedback, and I can listen to these comments or feedback to help me get better at these presentations. So during my presentation, please participate in my back channel. So I thought I'd start off by telling you a story. Once upon a time, there was a baby that was born. That baby's grand bought her an iPod stroller. You just have to put in your iPhone here, and the baby in the stroller can listen to music while you, stroll her. This man is Steve Jobs. He invented the iPhone the same year that baby was born. Here that baby is, 3 years old, operating her own iPhone. Wi-Fi symbols, hashtag, Google, YouTube, QR codes, Facebook, and Instagram. You might say that baby was born into a Twitterverse. In case you haven't figured it out yet, I'm that baby. Hi, I'm Gracie. I go to Rock Elementary School. I'm in third grade. Go Blackhawks. These are my parents, Allison and Stephen Lyle. These are my two siblings, Jake and Sophie Lyle. I know what you're probably thinking. Look at those adorable curls on that baby boy's head. Or look at that adorable little sweet smile on that baby's face. Well, I've got you thinking that. I'd like to advertise my new sale. If you buy one, I'll give you the other one free. Before anybody takes me too seriously, I want you all to know I really do love these guys. And I consider myself blessed to have such a wonderful family. And I also consider myself blessed to be able to go on this amazing learning journey at this particular time and place, because we have so many digital tools, like YouTube for Kids.
Okay, so do you want to tell a story?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now everything is popping into my brain. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Alex. 3 sisters, a bunny, 2 trains. He got caught in a bubble, and then he was floating around. He went to France, and then he sees Dracula and a few ghosts and Frankenstein. And then the robot came and ate the whole town. And everyone went like crazy. And then they had to destroy the robot. That was the only thing, so they put it on the sun. Because since the sun is made of gas, it couldn't eat anything there. He got surprised and then he jumped back and popped the bubble when he fell. The end. It's really weird.
Another amazing tool is called Google Docs. And two people can be in two different rooms, different houses, different states, and even different countries. And they can collaborate to make one story. Me and my grand did this, and we weren't even in the same house even. Another amazing tool that I got for Christmas last year is called the Osmo. And there's all kinds of apps that this game comes with, like the Tingram. It's a game for your iPad, and there's this little prism that you put on top of your iPad, and it reflects onto the camera. And there's this base that you can put your iPad in, and you have to put these little pieces together, and it checks it just for curiosity to see if you get it right. Same things for the Words app off of Osmo. Same thing of the prism and the base and the iPad. And there's a picture on your screen, and you use these little letters to spell out the word that the picture shows. Another amazing product is called the Swivel Capture. The little robot follows this little neck piece, and wherever that neck piece goes, the robot goes too. And if you're presenting, you can video your presentation and use it to get better. That's really cool. And all you have to do is put on a necklace. So you might be wondering, why is this little girl telling a story to all of you adults? I'll tell you why. Because stories create a picture in your mind called an engram. And did you know you are 40 times more likely to remember a story than just a simple list of facts? And I think it's important that you know my story. My story is, I am a digital learner. So sometimes when I go into a school, in the hallway, there's always, or sometimes, most of the time, there's a sign that says, failure is not an option. I get what they're trying to say. Teachers don't want their students to fail, but I'm not so sure I agree.
After being cut from his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much. Was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't fit for television. Fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. At age 11, he was cut from his team after being diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, which made him smaller in stature than most kids his age. At 30 years old, he was left devastated and depressed after being unceremoniously removed from the company he started. A high school dropout whose personal struggles with drugs and poverty culminated in an unsuccessful suicide attempt. A teacher told him he was too stupid to learn anything and that he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Rejected by Decca Recording Studios, who said, "We don't like their sound. They have no future in show business." His first book was rejected by 27 publishers. His fiancée died, failed in business, had a nervous breakdown, and was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new.
Pretty powerful video, right? So I don't think you can talk about failure and not talk about mindset. Everybody either has a growth or a fixed mindset. A growth mindset means that you always think you can progress and grow. And you think, when I fail, I learn. But a fixed mindset means, like in math, you think, when I fail, I'm no good. I'm as good as I'll ever be in math. Let's talk about me, for example. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Maybe I want to be a doctor, but I don't know everything there is to know about the human body yet. Or how about I say I want to compose symphonies, but I don't know everything there is to know about music yet. Or let's say I want to be an author, but I don't know all the proper vocabulary to use yet. But I do know one thing. There is a difference between not knowing and not knowing yet. And it has been great since I was just a little kid to grow up with influences like this on TV.
2 plus 2 is... Oh boy, Mama would never get it right.
You try to add, but the numbers came out wrong. You try to add and you get the right answer. And that is what you get with the power of the add.
Sesame Street, you gotta love them. So my greatest fascination lately in learning has been the brain. Did you know it is wet, it's a fragile mass, weighs about 3 pounds, and it fits in your palm? It's about the size of a grapefruit, but it's shaped like a walnut. There are 2 sides to the brain, a left side and a right side. The left side holds your lists and your facts and your math and your science. And the right side holds your creativity, imagination, and your visual. But what I find striking is that the left side holds the lyrics to songs, and the right side holds the tune of songs, and both of your sides of your brain, they work together to sing a song. That's really cool. Steve Jobs, for example. Some people might think he's a left-brain thinker. And I agree, he had the math and the science thinking, but he had to have a lot of creativity. And he also had the power of a growth mindset. He decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to learn calligraphy. But he found it fascinating. And 10 years later, he designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. Or some more examples that I live with, my mom and my dad. My dad's mostly a left-brain thinker. He loves spreadsheets, he's a number cruncher, he's a linear thinker, and he's a Windows computer guy. Or my mom, she's a right-brain thinker. She's creative, artistic, she sees the big picture, and she's a Mac girl. Together, they have this amazing company called Style Homes, making family dreams come true by building beautiful, customized homes. So if you're looking for a lake house on the weekends, see me after the presentation and I'll hook you up. Or another example, Sagata Mitra. He did a very interesting experiment in New Delhi, 1999, in the capital of India. That very interesting experiment was called the hole-in-the-wall experiment. Literally, he just cut a hole in an old wall and stuck a computer in it. And one kid just started touching it. and playing with it. And once that kid learned, she taught another kid. And that kid taught another kid. And they just learned by play. No class. They didn't have a class. They had never seen a computer before. Speaking of kids, here I am thinking of how I can make my left brain qualities better, like building my vocabulary, my science thinking, and my math thinking. But I'm also thinking about my right brain qualities, like my music abilities, my artistic abilities, and my creative thinking. Windows, Mac, Chromebook, and iPad, they're just devices. It's our thinking that makes those devices powerful. In the future, individuals will need to have their left brain qualities as well as their right brain qualities. And there is no doubt the digital revolution is a big part of the future of learning. Now let's talk about life-changing, mind-blowing work being done in science labs today. We now have better medicines, therefore helping us live longer. But because we are living longer, our organs wear out and there aren't enough organs to go around. Scientists are looking at regenerative medicine. Or lizards, for example. They're thinking, if a lizard lost an arm or lost a leg, they could just grow it back. But they ask themselves this, why can lizards regenerate, but not us people? But first, they had to face a few challenges before they could be able to do that. First, they had to figure out a biomaterial, much like our shirts are made out of today, that would live inside the human body. Then they had to get cells growing outside of the human body, and then they had to get blood simply flowing through that organ to make it live. I know this looks like a regular ink printer, but they're actually not using ink, they are using blood cells to make that organ. And after they get done with that organ, it takes about 40 minutes, they pop that out, and they can just implant that after they put in the cells. See what happens when science and math thinking plus creativity, plus taking advantage of the digital revolution and a growth mindset equals amazing things like human body parts being able to be made to save lives. Okay, that's a tongue twister. Okay, so I actually got to put my hands on a 3D printer. But they didn't let you make actual organs, which was what some people would have wanted to do, but they actually let you use the next best thing, plastic to make a toy castle. And I guess that's pretty good too. What I've always thought is you have to know the past to understand the present. And that's actually a quote by Carl Sagan. So I have a question for you. Does anybody recognize this? I have a few questions for you if you do. How did you take pictures with this contraption? And how did you fit this contraption in your back pocket? Speaking of old phones, I got the opportunity to see in a Avaya booth about the history of phones. And as you can see by the confused look on my face, I didn't even know what they gave me. So they gave me the phone that you had to put your finger in. Let's say the number was 669. You have to go 6, let it go back. 6, let it go back. 6, let it go back. It took forever. But seriously, they tell me there was a time when you had to put film inside a camera to take a picture. After you'd taken all your photos and there was no deleting and you couldn't see them, you had to take it to Walmart, get it developed, and then you had to throw away all your bad ones and keep all your good ones. But what if they were all bad? You just have to throw away all your money. There was a time when there was no Wi-Fi. Does this look familiar? Does this sound familiar? To be connected, you had to dial up. Before that busts someone's eardrum. I want you to know, I really do have this deep appreciation for people that had to go through so much just to use the internet. So how many people sitting in the audience today have ever taken a computer class or a workshop to learn how to operate a computer or software? Well, welcome to the app generation. Apps are simple and intuitive. They are shortcuts. You just have to switch it on, touch the screen, enter an app. No class needed. I am grateful that I was born into a generation that life is so much easier, like with the Apple Watch or the dental health. How many kids would not want an app that monitors if they brush regularly, monitors their brushing time, and tracks the teeth you've missed? Or the 3D pen that allows you to draw 3D objects at mid-air. The power of apps can be a springboard to greater creativity and higher aspirations. Like Explain Everything. It empowers student learning. It has interactive features like drawing tools, audio recording, and you can even add your own photos. And it personalizes student learning. I actually made a problem with using Explain Everything.
You have $10 to spend on chocolate, but the store only has Hershey bars, $2 each, and each Tootsie Roll costs $1 each.
Thank you. Apps easily make learning visible. It makes it easy to share student work. Kids are able to talk about their learning, and that makes me feel like a rock star. Another amazing tool is called Google Glass, and I actually do have a pair with me. I'll get those out in a minute. So let me show you a few things about Google Glass. It has a battery, a processor that connects to your cell phone, a microphone, video camera, speakers, and a prism that reflects onto your lens. So let me demonstrate. So all you have to do is go. Hold on, I have to turn this on. Okay, Glass, take picture. It just took a picture of my audience today. This is a really cool device. And let me try to. Okay, so you just have to go. Okay, Glass, steps for performing CPR. If you forget the steps, if there's a very, very good cause. You have to go, okay, Glass, steps for performing CPR. And a doctor will appear in your lens and it will say, move palm to bullseye. It'll show a bullseye on the person and it will just lead you through the steps of performing CPR. Where's my clicker? Or let's say when you're visiting Paris and a guy talks to you in French, you have to go, okay, Glass, translate. Everything he says in French will appear in English. You adults today are the last pre-internet generation. You are the last people to know what it was like without the internet. The kids that I go to school with are the first internet generation. We are the first global generation. We have never known a world without the internet. So that leaves a kid like me wondering, what will I accomplish in my future? So As I hope you remember, I started off by telling you a story. And as we all know, every story must come to an end. But I don't want you to think of it as an ending. I want you to think of it as a new beginning to how you can help the digital learners in your world. I'd like to thank Carnegie Learning for giving me this amazing opportunity today. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You should clip it up.
Thank you. I'm sure maybe they'll stay for a little while. So as you guys leave and you want to give her a high five or talk to her, you can. Thank you so much, Gracie. What a great way to end. A couple of housekeeping things before we let you guys go. There are evaluation forms at the end of your table. If you'll grab one of those and fill those out for us before you leave, you can leave them on the tables and we'll collect them later. There is lunch, a boxed lunch right outside the doors where the registration area kind of was when you first arrived. There will be access. We will be emailing you access to PowerPoints, videos, and handouts from all the sessions today in a couple of weeks. You'll get an email with links to all of that. And if you need anything else between now and then, just let us know. We're really glad that you took the last couple of days to participate with us and engage with us, and we hope that you leave knowing, having some good, cool things to go back in your district and do, and knowing who we are as a company. So anyway, thank you for your time. When you're finished with that, you are free to grab a lunch and head to the airport. If you need help with anything, getting to the airport or any advice around that, Jill and Sarthi are both Chicagoans, I don't know. They're both from Chicago. They can help out. So thank you very much.